So with the bye and the way it works in the SEC, I think last year was the first time we had to bye game. It worked out well for us. We get 9 games, we get to bye, so we got a week, off kind of between our first 9 and our last 9. It's the last game of our first 9 games. And we've done all right. I don't think we've played great any particularly, but we've played well enough to be 7-1 with a chance to go to 8-1 in our first 9. Looking to get a good 40 minutes on both sides of the ball, an entire 40 yet. We haven't. Probably the closest we've had was our first home game against, at least at home, our first one against Oklahoma. So, Georgia's good. I mean, they're top 15 in the country in offensive rebounding rate. Asa Newell's one of the best freshmen in the country. He's second in the SEC in offensive rebounds per game. Like, we're going to have to keep him off. He's skilled. He's good. I mean, we tried to recruit him. They did a good job. He's from, I kind of grew up there in Athens. His brother was on the team. They got really good talent. They been ranked in the top 25 this year. I think it's the first time in 14 years they've been in the top 25. So, they've done a really good job accumulating talent, getting them to play hard. The SEC's tough, so they don't have a winning record in the SEC. That doesn't mean they're not a really good team. Like I said, they've been ranked in the top 25 and have really good talent. So we're going to have to come ready to play. Like I said, we have not played that great in our last 3 home games. So we got to be a little better here at home. So we've got guys that are trending in the right direction. Young blood. The last 6 games, we gained his stat. He's averaging 13 points and shooting over 50% from the field and 45% from 3. So he's playing well. I think Diabate's starting to get his confidence going. I thought Sears, with 16, 9, and 6 last game was really good. If we can get him to cut down on the turnovers, be even better. But I thought his defensive effort was where we needed it to be. Made some tough. We chart those blue collar points. He was second on the team, and Diabate, when Diabate gets his minutes, he's been pretty good. I also had a stat for those of you kind of one of those odd stats that gets printed out. But only player in Division I to have 110 rebounds in less than 310 minutes. So, Mo, minutes are getting better. The more he gets comfortable and healthy and plays better, but he's doing a lot in his minutes. So, he's trending in the right direction. CY is, Holloway had been, I thought last game maybe wasn't one of his better ones, but he wasn't bad. I think we can get him back on the right track, hopefully going, and maybe get LeBaron's just been hobbled a little bit with this foot and ankle injury. If we can get him healthy going again, we get everybody. I thought Darion was good in his minutes, obviously after being out as long as he'd been out, wasn't going to be back to 100% right away. You kind of know that, but thought he looked pretty good in practice today, so I think he'll be ready to go too.
Start on the left, Kirk.
You sort of mentioned this a little bit, and I didn't know if it was my imagination or not, but it seems like the best performances by Alabama have been on the road rather than at home here in Content.
Yeah, they scored 85 or more in like 6 straight road games, which this is the longest single season streak in SEC history. So apparently our offense is showing up on the road a little bit more than it is at home. I think maybe some of that's, our guys' mentality. They know it's going to be tough. It seems like these guys rise to the occasion when they know it's going to be a tough game. You've looked, it's kind of some of our better teams we played our better games. We go at A&M, at Kentucky, at Mississippi State. We played well. So, that's a good sign, but it's also a sign of like, if you can get yourself up for a game is going to be hard on the road, why aren't we getting ourselves up for a home game that maybe we don't give the same type of respect to some of the opponents? And I don't understand that. It's a little frustrating. I'd like to see us, come in and show the same respect to Georgia because they deserve it. I mean, this team's beat Kentucky. It was a 2-point game with Auburn, who's, the best team in our league metric-wise by a long shot. So this team needs our full respect. I hope our guys, we've tried to tell them, I hope our guys are mature enough to give it that, and I hope we play with the sense of urgency and effort that it takes to beat a really good team like Georgia. But yeah, I think guys know that it's supposed to be a harder game on the road, and these teams have been better teams, and we've shown up with a little bit more sense of urgency and a little bit higher level of respect for some of these road games, which is good and bad at the same time. So we just got to come with the same level of respect in every game.
How has LeBaron grown over the course of the season, especially the last few games, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, he's hurt right now a little bit with his ankle, so it's hard to measure growth when you deal with an injury. But I'll say this: I think he's realized it's not that easy. I mean, he came in, he had a chip on his shoulder. We even talked about maybe redshirting him, like when we brought him in the summer, and then he just built all those thoughts and all the way he played all summer and fall. I mean, was the best guard in the program for multiple days in the summer. So, and he was pushing Mark every day. So, we kind of, some injuries happen here and there, and Wright's out, Youngblood's out, he gets put in the starting lineup. I think he's learning that just because you've had success from the past, which you had a lot of success all summer and fall and early in the year, doesn't guarantee any future success or current success. Like you got to bring a level of respect to the game. Like every single game at this level is going to be hard. When you play the way you've been playing and people start scouting you more, it gets harder and harder and harder. So, I do think he's grown in the experience there. I think he's grown in how to handle, pick and rolls a little better. I didn't think he was great last game in it, but we got to get him more aggressive even with his injury, just kind of coming downhill. I think he's had some pretty good practices. So, he's coming. He's mature for a freshman, but as many minutes as we're giving him, we need to be mature for a backcourt player on a top 5 program period, whether regardless of class, kind of moving forward.
Well,
Coach, obviously different kind of players, but what can you take from the film on a guy like Josh Hubbard and maybe some of the difficulties there and apply them to a guy like Asa Newell tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, totally different players, but I think prepping for another team's best player and the attentiveness you need to have, hopefully we realize that whatever we thought we had done preparation-wise wasn't good enough. So, now this time it's going to be different guys matched up. Newell, he's kind of more like a 4-man that can step out. He's hit, I believe, 16 threes in their 21 games or 14 threes in their 21 games. He's 13, something like that, somewhere in there. He's capable of shooting. We recruited him. I saw that he could shoot. I liked his shot, but he does most of his damage in the paint. So you're not going to have the same type of guys guarding him as you would Hubbard, but you got to prepare to stop other teams' primary scoring option. He's definitely their primary scoring option. They're kind of force feeding into him in the post, and he's, produced as their leading scorer. So we got to be ready to guard him.
Jack.
Kind of that same note defensively. What did you like about Grant Nelson's play against Mississippi State? How's he grown as a defender this season?
Yeah, I mean, he's always been tough. I think, he's become more switchable. He's healthy this year. He's dealing with the kind of groin, whatever it was, hip injury last year a lot. It was never quite 100%. We kind of shut him down this summer, which I thought hurt his overall skill development, but we got him healthy. So now that he's healthy and can move, you can see he's a lot more switchable. He's at the 4, can guard perimeters, guard bigs, kind of come over, block shots on the help side. He's had a year of experience having to bring it every night out in a high-level league, which last year was the first time he had done that. So he's getting better and better for us, I think. He hit that 3 hit was big, but talking on the defensive end, I think kind of switching him on the perimeters, playing him at the 4, playing him at the 5, you can kind of do all that stuff.
Johnny.
As we turn the calendar to February and you're well into conference play, how would you assess both the mental and physical toughness of your basketball team?
Yeah, I think all the road wins we've had shows out what our capabilities are as being mentally tough. It's not easy to go in there and have as much stuff go wrong, if you will, as we did at Mississippi State. We only shot 55% of the free throw line. Hubbard has a career day. Part of that was us, part of that was him. But a lot of things could have fooled us at Mississippi State, we never folded. We hung in there. We got 6 of the last 8 stops down the stretch. We had some guys make some free throws that we needed to. Youngblood went 2 for 2 late. I think we've shown we've got the mental toughness. Our game against Houston out in Vegas, our game on the road against A&M, our game at Kentucky, when they were playing really well. There's multiple games we've really showed up. But there's also been some games we haven't shown up like we need to, which consistency goes along with being mentally tough. Can you do it every night? So I think we've shown we've got the capability of being one of the most mentally tough teams in the country, but not performing at that same level every night shows we've got some growth we need to make still in that area.
Blake. You mentioned in your post-game just some defensive issues that you saw against Mississippi State. What were some of those specifically, and how fixable do you think those issues are?
I mean, they're all fixable because I don't think there's anything we're not capable of doing. Our pick and roll defense wasn't where we needed it to be. Hubbard was able to get threes off in it and able to get to the rim. I mean, the way we guard pick and rolls, those are the 2 things we're never trying to give up. Shouldn't be able to dribble off pick and roll and hit a 3 with the way we're guarding. You also shouldn't be able to get downhill and score at the rim, and he was able to do both. So our pick and roll defense wasn't where it needed to be. A transition defense has been a little bit of an issue off and on throughout the course of the year, and it was a little bit of an issue this game. I also thought, like, our help defense, we got a little bit too locked into some weak side action instead of getting our help over where it needed to be. And we got to clean that up. Like, we kind of call it our shell, if you will, like your kind of base thing. Now, you got to go through all these actions you want to guard, but having your help there trumps all the actions you're guarding on the weak side when there's a breakdown in our help. I mean, you saw it multiple times where guys are just free, whether in pick and roll or some, driving down the lane. We didn't get our help over there in time. So those have been, some of the bigger areas that Mississippi State exposed. But going into Georgia, our post defense has to be elite. We've had that exposed in different games as well this year.
2 more, Cody.
Mo Diabate leads you in hard head awards. Do you remember a bench player ever leading you in that? And how much does he just exemplify what you want in terms of blue collar?
It's a good question. And I'm trying to think of the years that different guys have led us. And I don't think so, because Herb Jones was obviously one our first couple of years here. Benny Yako became a big one. We've had years where multiple guys did it. Probably not. I'd have to go back and ask Bowman. So maybe first guy off the bench to be able to do it like he's doing it. I mean, he exemplifies what we're trying to build this program. We call it blue collar basketball. He's as blue collar as they get. I mean, he's all about getting stops. I mean, occasionally we kind of joke with him, and because he's not at all Hollywood type or that. He's a New York City kid, so we'll call him Broadway Mo when kind of trying to jab at him a little bit, calling him soft to get him going a little bit. Tell him we got the Broadway Mo today, not the Southside Jamaica Queens Mo. Gotta go back to the tough side of New York City. But I mean, in the second half for us, against Mississippi State, he gets the free throw ones. He makes big block shots. He has the play at the end of the game, knocks it off Hubbard's leg to cause the turnover that essentially seals the game for us. We switch him onto point guards when we need to. We play him on 4s and 5s, like literally whatever it takes to win the games, and has never complained about minutes. Just explain to him what he's got to do to get more minutes, and then he's just like, all right, got it, coach. Kind of nods his head and proceeds to do what you tell him to do. So, absolute joy to coach. Really glad we've got him, because the other thing is he teaches the other guys what we want. I mean, I don't know how many times I made it. If y'all could just play as hard and be locked into that stuff, it's because he's not the most skilled kid on the team. We're working on getting that better. I will say there's certain skills he's pretty good at. I mean, you hit him in the pocket, and he makes pocket reads as good as anybody on the team. You get him going downhill, in certain situations, he finishes at the rim better than anybody on the team. So there's certain skills, rebounding's a skill, and he's elite at that. And some of the other skills, I think he started the year out 15 to 16 or 17 to 18 at the free throw line, so he can certainly lock in and be a good free throw shooter, which we need him to do more here lately. But as far as the blue collar toughness stuff, like he's what we want to be about.
Last one, Charlie.
Just another defensive question. You kind of mentioned it earlier with other teams, top scorers kind of having big days against you guys. Is that a concern? It's happened multiple times.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's happened 3 times. I mean, Dylan Harper's got 37. Hubbard just scored 38. Eagles staff had 40 up in North Dakota. And I kind of said, who's going to, step up and say, hey, coach, I got this. He's done. As of right now, I really haven't had anybody. Youngblood's done it twice. He kind of did it at A&M. I mean, yeah, you kind of go back to that. Phelps had over 30 on us too. So, Youngblood did it with Phelps. Youngblood did it late in the game with Hubbard after he had already kind of had his career night going. It'd be nice if some guys had some intensity and some pride about them to step up and be like, Coach, I got this guy. Just put me onto him. It's done. He's I got it. We've had some of that in the past. I mean, I kind of go back. Even some of our best players have, Brandon Miller. Now Brandon Miller's 6'8", 6'9", he can move and really athletic. Brandon did that at times. And he's capable of it at 6'9", 6'8", whatever. He can move and athletic as he is. Coach, I got him. Just put me on. He's done. It'd be nice if we had a little more of that. We as we currently stand, we probably don't. So we've got to get a guy really amped up that's capable of guarding other teams' best players. Mo D will do it going into games with other tough guys. Maybe not so much with some of the guards we've done, but Mo's almost we'll start pumping the other guy up. He looks at you like you're crazy, so and so's looking for you. I'm looking for him. And he usually is. He's usually got that one under control. So we kind of got that category. I don't want to say taken care of. We need to get the other one where they've got dynamic guards like Harper, Eagle staff, Phelps, Hubbard, going where somebody can lock him up. So yeah, it is a concern until somebody steps up and decides they're going to step up to the challenge and kind of lock these guys up.
Thank you, Coach. Thanks, everyone.